people, how's everybody doing? It is Friday, September 7th, and you know what that means. Today is Egypt Station Day. Though it is still early in the morning right now, I have not received my vinyl copy in the mail, but as soon as I woke up this morning, I turned on Spotify, put on my Bluetooth speakers, and listened to the whole album all the way through. So I'm gonna tell you my first impressions. I've got my notes that I'm gonna be referring to. There's a lot of them, I'm telling you right now, so this might take a hot minute, but here we go. So the album opens with Opening Station, and of course a lot of people are saying it's very reminiscent of the start of Sgt. Pepper. And when Paul was doing, press for the album, he said that, it's kind of like a concept album. We're at a train station, so it's a lot of the train track ambiance noises, and then it goes right into the song I Don't Know, which we've heard for the last, month or two. A lot of people have also been complaining, well, I don't want to say the word complaining, have been saying that it's kind of like a mellow start. Why wouldn't you start with Come On To Me, get people really into the album? But I really enjoyed that Opening Station went into I Don't Know. It's very melancholy, I guess, and it's, not the typical upbeat start, and I enjoyed it. I Don't Know, I've noticed that I like the song a lot more than I did when I first heard it. I was singing along with it, which is a good change, I suppose. So I thought this was a really good way to start off the record. And then you have Come On To Me. And I know that Paul says that this is a song that is inspired by his single days in the 60s when he was a bachelor, but I still can't not hear old man Paul singing this song. I definitely like the song more than I did when I heard it before. It's a toe tapper, and it's definitely gonna be one of those sing-along songs that he does on his Freshen Up tour. Happy With You is the next track. It reminds me kind of like of Mother Nature's Son, where you have just the acoustic guitar and the light bass drum tapping. And I really like seeing this side of McCartney, that he's being vulnerable and that he's happy with his life now and that he doesn't need the booze, he doesn't need the weed, and he's happy with the way things are. The next song is Who Cares, which is a song about all you stupid trolls out there who, don't like anything that anybody does, and you gotta bring everybody down all the time. Well, though it wasn't my favorite song off the album, I do think it's definitely a relatable topic, and the melody actually in some parts reminded me of Jet. I wonder if anybody else feels the same way. Not my favorite song, but it has a good message, and especially for all the kids that are doing things online, this is a song that they could listen to and be like, that's right, who cares? Next song, For You. Still not my favorite track, and I don't like the chorus. A lot of people don't like that this song is a bit too modern, too current, and overproduced, but I actually really love the electronic noises that are in the chorus. And I really do think that Paul McCartney, for being a 76-year-old man, does pull off being a modern artist. And he proved that in 2013 when Appreciate came out. It's another song that I really love that's kind of modern EDM kind of a feel. So though For You is still not my all-time favorite, I think Paul really can pull off being a modern day artist. All right, the next song is Confidant, and a lot of people don't seem to like the fact that this song is not indeed about a person and that it is about Paul's guitar. And I also heard in another interview that this is actually Nancy's favorite song off of the record, and I may be on the same wavelength. I love the concept that you're telling your darkest secrets to your guitar, because as a musician, I can relate to that more than anything. As a teenager, and you can't talk to your parents, you can't talk to your friends. Ooh, getting emotional. But you can talk to your guitar. Your guitar is your confidant. And I also like the lyric, I fell out of love with you and brought our relationship to an end. And I relate to that as well, where you're kind of uninspired and you kind of have your guitar hanging up on the wall, but your guitar is always there for you. When I heard this song all the way through today for the first time, I actually got really teary-eyed. So I think this may be one of my favorite songs on this album so far. Definitely hit me right here in the feels, in my heart, because I definitely know how that feels to have your guitar be your only friend. All right, this is, for me, where the album starts to kind of go downhill. We had a really strong start. Everything's really positive and all good, and this is kind of where it starts to slope. We have People Want Peace, which I didn't think this was like a god-awful song or anything, but the funny thing is, in the beginning of the song, Paul sings the line, I know you've heard it before. So even Paul knows that he's written way too many of these peace songs before, and I think it's really sad that he still has to do such a thing, because, you know, that's all people really want. People do want peace, and we still don't have peace in the world. So Paul McCartney doing his duty as a songwriter and writing more songs about peace. The next track is Hand in Hand. It's a sweet little song, not my favorite tune. The only note I wrote down here on my paper was that it was skippable. So it didn't really get me on first impressions. Who knows, maybe once I listen to the album more, I'll like it. But for now, totally a song that I would just skip. Dominoes, I like this song upon the first listening. But nothing really specific jumped out at me. It's just another good Paul McCartney tune. The only thing that really got me was the very last line in the song where he says it's been a blast. And I'm like, ooh, does this mean, like, is this gonna be the final album? Is this kind of Paul saying, you know, hey, it's been a blast, but I'm done? Who knows? I don't know. I don't believe that. I think the man still has some songs in him, even if maybe they're not the best songs in the world. All right, then we have Back in Brazil. As soon as the drums kicked in on this song, I kind of made a face like this, just like, I kind of cringed. It reminded me so much of Barry Manilow's Copacabana. Just him telling a song about something exotic, and oh, there's this girl and she's in Brazil. So I'm sure that all of Paul's Brazilian fans are gonna eat this song up. Number one, because it just simply says the word Brazil. And number two, there is a chant. And trust me, living in Orlando and being around all the Brazilians all the time, Brazilians love to chant. So I bet you he's only ever going to perform the song when he is down in South America. Not my favorite. Definitely, probably one of the worst songs on this album. The next track is Do It Now. My notes said that, you know, not impressed, another skippable song, and I wouldn't miss it if it wasn't on the album. And I know Paul is trying to be inspirational here, but I couldn't get through it seriously because with all the do's that he has to put in there all the time. So even when Paul's trying to be serious, he's got to put in his do's, and it just kind of made me laugh the entire time. The next track is Caesar Rock. Another skippable song that I really just didn't care about. It didn't impress me. Nothing jumped out at me. The only cool thing that I thought was clever, that Caesar Rock is supposed to be She's a Rock. Other than that, I didn't care. All right, the next song is Despite Repeated Warnings. And even before I heard the song, I loved the title for this song. I loved it before I knew what it was about. I see why Paul says that he feels like the song is very similar to kind of Band on the Run and Live and Let Die, with the way that the tempo changes and the storyline, and there's kind of a flow here, and you know, things get bigger, things get smaller. So I definitely understand why he feels that it's definitely along those same lines. I loved the horn arrangement in there. I thought that was really cool. I think this song would be really, really great live. Now, would I listen to this song regularly, you know, in the regular studio album version? Maybe not. I think this is another song that I'm gonna have to listen to a few times, and maybe it'll more so grow on me. But I think as one of those, you know, story songs, that this would be a really cool thing to do live. All right, so after Despite Repeated Warnings, we have Station 2, which I guess it kind of just symbolizes that our journey is coming to an end, kind of like the Sgt. Pepper reprise, if you will. And I love that at the very end, you can kind of hear the guitar riff that starts off for the next track, Hunt You Down. So I love that it kind of goes into that. It's very playful. So the next and final track being this combo thing we have going on, which is Hunt You Down, Naked, and C-Link. Hunt You Down is a really fun jam, and I noticed that I was kind of like rocking back and forth as I was listening to it. Very, very cool song. Naked, it's cute, but was it really necessary? And C-Link is just a really cool closing guitar jam. Now, honestly, I could have really done without Naked and C-Link. I think if we made Hunt You Down longer and made that the finale for the album, that it would have been just really, really cool overall. So I'm actually really pleasantly surprised about this album. I thought for sure that it wasn't going to be the best ever, and that Paul McCartney couldn't do any better than the new album. But I was, like I said, really pleasantly surprised. I think I would give this album like a C+ for sure. I think that if you got rid of the songs Hand in Hand, Back in Brazil, Do It Now, and Caesar Rock, that this album would have actually been like a B+, A- for sure. So I'm super pleasantly surprised. I actually hope that Paul will play these songs on his upcoming tour. And good job, Paul. I'm actually really super happy with this. So to more awesome listens of Egypt Station, if you were kind of wishy-washy on whether you wanted to get this album or not, I hope that maybe this review helped you out a little bit. And until next time, my friends, as always, peace and love. See ya.